Teddy Hart, you're now in the main event zone.
The main event zone.
Yeah. Shout out to PAW. Yo, burn it down. Get him up. I hit him up. Get him up. Get him up. You better.
Everybody wants that sound. It's always my enemy falling to the ground. Stop, everybody wants that sound. Wow, 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 wow. You will see me, y'all can meet me, and review me on your TV. If you knew better, you would do better. Don't blindfold like Stevie. Get your gloves on. It's time to fight, cause all the love's gone. This monkey magic got me ready, get my plugs on. Sticks and stones may break my bones, words can never hurt me. Disrespect will get you checked, and that results in surgery. Heard of me, I'm deaf, y'all running up out of breath. I'm swinging hard with my righteousness, can bury you with my left. Better. Everybody wants that sound. It's always my enemy falling to the ground. Stop, everybody wants that sound. Pow, 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 pow. Stop, everybody wants that sound.
Main event zone. You know what it is.
What's going on, Fight World? It's your boy PAW, and now, of course, you are in the main event zone. Of course, the main event zone is the spot to be. Of course, this is for thechairshot.com as well as the main event zone pro wrestling group. Shout out to you guys. Great support. Make sure you invite your friends. So, if you're a wrestling fan like me, a true wrestling fan, then there's no need for an introduction about the Hart family. If you watched it in the 90s, 80s, first of all, you're familiar with the patriarch, Stu Hart, which of course he had the Hart Dungeon, which did from there spawn greats like Bret Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, British Bulldog. You got greats of today like Natalia, TJ Wilson. And so of course that means you are familiar with my guest here today. He is the infamous Teddy Hart. What's going on, Teddy?
Oh, not too much, my friend. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to have someone with wrestling royalty in your blood. So, it's an honor to me to be able to speak to you. So, again, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I appreciate you taking time to interview me and that you still care about what I have to say. And fans out there in the wrestling world are interested in hearing Teddy Hart's opinion on things. So,
all right. Well, let's jump right into it. As I mentioned, most folks should know who you are. There have been headlines, there have been rumors, there have been high spots, there have been low spots. Now, tell the wrestling world, who is Teddy Hart in 2019?
I'll say, I guess, trying to reinvent myself and stay out of trouble with the law. I had some bad luck. Some charges in Canada, which I beat, but still it took a long time to keep my name, I guess, to get my name clear again, because anytime you're charged with anything, it's not good for social media or public opinion, and the wrestling world it's pretty serious about, I would think, the public opinion and social media, and your standing in the public eye is pretty important. So just working on staying in the gym and focused and making all my dates, and trying to stay humble, and thank God that I'm alive and healthy enough to continue wrestling at my age.
Okay, great. Sounds like you have a really good positive attitude, which is definitely needed in today's society. Give us your impression of your most recent run in Major League Wrestling, because they have definitely had a resurgence, and you've been kind of the centerpiece. So tell us how you feel about your recent run.
I'll thank God, first of all, for giving me an opportunity to get with some promoter types that, that care about talent and want to give me a chance to run with the ball. And anytime you get that opportunity, you got to hit a home run, because it doesn't come along too often. It's nice that it's on TV. They got a really good deal with the BN Sport Network. I just want to thank Court Bauer and Jared St. Laurent for giving me such a nice push there, and getting to team up with my cousin. That was something we did a little bit in the WWE, and it didn't have the success I think it could have, but that also turned into an opportunity for Tyson Kidd, Natalia, and Harry Smith to go on to, I think, pretty great things there. They still had the belts, and Tyson Kidd's done an amazing job with the opportunity he had, and same with Natalia. They're both role models to me and inspirations. When I was in jail, Tyson Kidd was one of the few guys that helped me pay my lawyer bill and talked to me all the time on the phone about when I got out, what I would do, and stay motivated and stay positive. And after an injury that he had, I've never heard of anybody break their neck like that and be able to walk and get a job back with WWE and be in a position where he can help young talent out. So some things go wrong and other things go right for other people, and I think it's just a matter of taking an opportunity with MLW that I didn't get in the WWE that maybe someday will turn into an opportunity because MLW sees the potential in Teddy Hart, and that'll make other people see the potential in Teddy Hart. It's nice to also work with Brian Pillman Jr. His dad was a big fan of mine when I was young, and really inspirational for me too, just because of the gimmick he played. The loose cannon is something I try to do. I kind of try to play that character, and it's a tough one to do because a lot of people get confused with the in-ring character or trying to keep it a shoot, and then they think that's the type of person you are on the street when that's not so. I don't think that's accurate. But all you can do is try to tell fans the truth when you see them and give them 5 minutes or 10 minutes of your time to talk and sign autographs and be humble. And thank God that the fans care enough to come up and talk to you after a show. And thank God promoters are running shows so I can have a job and a purpose.
Okay. Sounds like MLW has definitely helped rehabilitate your career here. And definitely shout out to Brian Pillman Jr. He actually threatened to shove his cane up my ass at the last MLW show. So I'm glad that's not really his real character, but he's definitely playing the loose cannon really well. Now,
yeah, he's got big shoes to fill, and he's doing a great job so far. Pressure either makes you or breaks you in this world. So I think the pressure is making him into a diamond, and he's shining everywhere he goes. So congratulations to him for taking the opportunity he has, and a last name that his dad worked very hard to build and trying to capitalize on that success.
Yep, very true. So now, of course, the wrestling world is still a buzz right now. The 2019 is bringing so much wrestling competition. Of course, at the brink of that is the new company AEW, All Elite Wrestling. And so, what are your thoughts of AEW, and could you see this as a possible option for you in the future?
It would be amazing to get an opportunity with AEW. The Young Bucks are guys I discovered years ago, and two of the most talented guys I've ever seen in the wrestling business. And very smart and savvy guys and hardworking guys. I had some great matches with those guys. Me and Jack Evans wrestled the Young Bucks quite a bit when they were younger, and that's when I kind of found them, and I thought they were the best tag team in the world, and I still think that to this day that they're probably the best tag team in the world. And I hope them I pray to God for anybody in wrestling gets success, but when they're trying to go after that type of market and giving guys that type of contract and opportunity, I pray to God they do really well and hit a home run. Cody Rhodes is a smart guy, another good-looking, third-generation guy. I'm pretty sure third generation, maybe second generation. I'm not sure, but I know he's one of those guys that did a lot with WWE, saved his money, and is a businessman. And I think they'll do unbelievable things. They got the right type of roster. Neville's probably the best. Neville and Ricochet are on my list of two of the best guys ever, but especially right now in the business. So, and the roster they have seems to be giving guys from the independents a chance to make a name for themselves on a major level. And I think the backers they have are very serious about making this thing a big deal. And I pray to God that I get an opportunity with any big company. MLW seems to be taking care of me now, but if WWE came along or AEW came along, I would be blessed, and it would be like winning a lottery ticket, I think, to get an opportunity to work for either one of those companies. So,
okay. That kind of brings me to my next question. I was going to ask you, you touched on it earlier as well. I mean, do you have an ambition to go back to the WWE? And if so, I mean, I know you, besides, of course, your cousins and other contacts within the family, do you keep any contact with some of the officials there?
Not really. I'm not one of those guys that's trying to get a job right now. I'm still working on getting in better shape and cleaning up my name so the WWE could be proud to use me and stand behind me. Certain things I've done in my life, Sometimes my fault, sometimes just the way the situation is portrayed to the public. I have to. Oh, it was that the echo's fucking me up. I was wondering. I don't really keep track of anybody there besides Tyson Kidd. He's the guy that if I want to get something done, he would be the guy I would go through.
Okay, fair enough. So again, speaking of Tyson Kidd, and also you touched on this earlier as well, there was that brief stint of you with Italia, Tyson Kidd, and Harry Smith as the Hart Dynasty. I believe that was FCW or somewhere in developmental. Unfortunately, you were let go before that got called up to the main roster. Did they give you guys like a vision as far as how they wanted this to portray on TV with all of you, including yourself?
Court Bauer, when he was working there, had a vision for some ideas, but it never came through, so I never really got told what the potential was going to be for that. I didn't know I was going to get let go. It was kind of it was like a last-minute thing that happened, I think, due to Brett's book, the way he wrote it. I don't think did me any favors. So I can't comment on that much because it was so long ago. I don't have any, didn't have any direction on what we were doing. Just basically show up, and we did a good job whenever we had the opportunity to get in the ring. So it seemed like we were very popular. But, I mean, that's one thing to be an FCW or OVW. It's the next thing to get to the main roster and stay there. So I think I would have done well anywhere I have an opportunity. But, again, getting the opportunity is the first thing. And then being legit when you're there and reliable and being credible for showing up on all your dates and being on time and being a businessman when you're there, shutting your mouth and staying out of trouble, keeping your nose clean. Those are all important things I think that I would try to, if I was 10 years ago, or tell this guy now what to do. I think I'm doing that now. So trying to learn from mistakes and, again, pray to God for any good opportunity like WWE or AEW. But as of now, the MLW thing's doing wonders for my career and giving me a couple championship belts, which I'm very proud to have. And again, all I can do is just keep hoping for success and follow my directions that I would give to any other guy, which is hit the gym and try to eat clean and stretch and meditate and watch as much wrestling tapes as you can.
Okay. Well, it definitely seems like you've been doing that. And, again, I commend you for owning up to everything that you've done in the past and trying to better yourself. So, I mean, that's the only thing that anybody can do when you have those downfalls. So, again, I definitely commend you on that. Since you've been all around the world, Canada, United States, Japan, Mexico, all around the world, you've seen some of the best of the best. So what's your opinion of, besides yourself, of course, who's one of the best high flyers in the current business?
I would probably say Ricochet. I think he's amazing. Neville is another guy. Those are two of the best high flyers I think out there. Jack Evans is another guy. Those guys, any one of those three guys are capable of doing every move in the world. So there's some other guys coming up, some younger guys I've seen, like Desmond Xavier is really good, and Phoenix is amazing, and Eli Everfly is pretty good. I watched him. He's been doing good stuff for all the opportunity he has. There's so many young kids coming up. I think they all studied our tapes and watched the guys that were doing the big stuff and taking the risks. And I would think probably right now my list would be top three would be Neville, Jack Evans, and Ricochet.
Okay, that's definitely a good list. It will be an amazing triple threat. All right, so this is a question I've been interested to ask you. Now, if you could form the best four-man Hart Foundation stable with past and present wrestlers, who would that consist of?
Well, I can't really go in the past and bring guys back from the dead, so I would just think it would be cool to have Jack Evans join MLW and be part of me, Brian Pillman, and Harry.
Fair enough. Is Jack Evans still in Mexico right now, or where is Jack Evans?
Still in Mexico with AAA, I think, and I'm not sure what his Lucha Underground deal is. I have no idea. I hope he gets opportunity to come to MLW. They were talking about bringing him in for the last show, but he had some bookings in Mexico, so he wasn't able to do that. I think the door's still open, possibly for him to come back. So hopefully he will.
Okay, I mean, that'll definitely be exciting, so make sure you people keep checking into the BN Sports network as well as on their MLW's YouTube page to see if that definitely comes to fruition. So now every year we hear about all the wants from the fans, the social media buzz, the petitions, especially around this time of year about getting Davey Boy Smith and Owen Hart into the Hall of Fame. We all know like that there's some hardships in making that happen. But what do you think it will happen at some point, and what do you think it's going to mean to your family?
The WWE Hall of Fame is a tremendous thing to get inducted into. So I would hope our family gets the opportunity to get that chance again. I think Davey Boy definitely deserves it, and Owen obviously. I think Jim Neidhart, Owen, and Davey Boy should all be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I've seen people in the Hall of Fame that were, I think, less impactful in the wrestling business that got into the Hall of Fame. So based on that alone, I think we should get that opportunity. Hopefully with Martha, Owen's wife, she becomes more flexible with the WWE. They're trying to help and keep our name alive. And I don't think it's going to hurt at all to have him inducted. I think it would be a huge benefit for our family and our legacy, and to keep our name, living forever. And the Hall of Fame is a great way to do it. So I would hope that happens, as soon as possible.
Okay, I agree for sure. So now you've wrestled for every major wrestling company out there, minus of course AEW and a couple others, but for the most part you've been around the world here. So now what's been one of your most memorable moments?
Years ago with Jersey All Pro, we won the tag team titles in ECW building, me and Jack Evans against Homicide B-Boy. That was one of my great moments because Jim Neidhart came to the ring and actually did a run-in in that match. It was the first time that I had anyone from my family that was able to come from the second generation family come up and help me for a big show like that. And we were the main event. We sold out the building, so that was a credit to our names and the drawing ability we had. And then going now in the future, the last show we did at the ECW building or whatever that building is called, to win the tag titles like that, and then to go out again. I started the show and I ended the show, so I thought it was a pretty big deal for MLW to put that type of pressure on me and that opportunity, and to give me that blessing.
And let's not forget the burn that you did against MGR. I mean, goodness gracious, that little him being all elite and that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was a good promo. It was pretty cool to get some champagne and have the gold around our waist or around my neck.
Yeah, good stuff. So now here's always a good question I like to ask my guests. What pisses you off, whether it's in the business or just in general?
Cruelty to animals is a terrible thing, and I think people taking opportunities and not doing great things with them. So, and just overall, and I fight this battle myself, depression and laziness and excuses, and just finding ways to battle. Everyone's got their own problems in this world, and everyone's got to fight and a battle and has to deal with hardships, and trying to find the positive side to it and to fight through anything and pray for a better day, because it does come. You just have to stay swimming, and life's a battle and life's a gamble, and you got to go back to the casino over and over again, and you got to put the money up, which is your time, if you want to win.
Okay. So now tell us about your love for cats, as well as the charities that you created to benefit them.
We have a charity in Calgary. I guess it's actually outside of Calgary. It's in a town called Edson. My friend Bill had taken rescue cats and built a huge enclosure for them, and some of the money we made from selling Persian cats was put back into setting up this rescue to save other cats that were basically out of time, and that if the SPCA was going to give us these cats, we would give them a home and feed them and take care of them. And we raised money for the last we've done that charity for probably 4 years or 5 years. It's just called it's like we call it this. It's like a CIMI house for people that want to basically help out cats. It's like a cat meditation place for people to go and chill out, and people that are recovering from drugs and from stress and from death, they can go there and have coffee and tea, and they can go and deal with the cats. They get a brush and some treats, and they go brush the cats and pet the cats and feed the cats, and hopefully that takes a little stress out of somebody's life, and the cats get some attention and some affection, because we both need love in this world, the people and the cats. So
okay, well that goes to show that everything that you've gone through in life kind of brought you to this purpose where different that you can help others. So I mean, that's the best way to, again, that you can deal with things that you've gone through and the mistakes that you made in the past, is to be able to learn from it and then be able to help others. So again, make sure you is there any websites anybody can go on, or a particular phone number?
No, it's kind of a private shelter because we had a certain amount of cats. We already reached our limit with 50 cats that we had out there. So we kind of just, it's people we deal with. If we find rescues and he goes actively looking, the guy that I run it with, and because I was in jail for that, like before the year before that, I hadn't had much contact. I wasn't able to do much because I wasn't able to go back to Canada until I had cleared up the charges. And I beat those charges too in courts, but I had to wait in jail for those charges to clear. So that was something I kind of had put it on the back burner. I just started doing stuff with it again now. So we'll probably be setting some stuff up, a website or something like that. But right now it's a nonprofit with people who want to donate money to Mr. Velvet's charity. We call it the Mr. Velvet charity, and Mr. Velvet donates that money back to my friend for cat food and for litter and for shots and vaccinations and stuff like that we have to get because it's expensive to have 50 cats. So.
Okay. All right, last question, because again, I know that you're a busy man here. The Main Event Zone is the name of the show, but not only that, it also represents focus. It represents a mindset that you have to get in to be in the main event. It's the type of tunnel vision that you need to be able to survive and to be able to push forward and persevere. You mentioned focus earlier, so I wanted to ask you, how does focus help you in the wrestling business, and what do you do to get in your zone to achieve that type of focus?
Good music and good people around you always helps you stay focused, and remembering the people that laid the path for us to walk on now, all the wrestlers that have died in this business and that I'm sure are watching from heaven now and want to see us successful, and stay focused on your goals and your dreams, and always stay focused on making sure fans get their time. And it's why I gave you some time today to try to talk to me and figure, if I could give you 20 minutes or 30 minutes of my time and my opinion, and it gets out there, it's something, giving back to people and giving back to the business. And I think that allows me to have focus more because there's more people behind me. The more people you get behind you, it's harder to quit on yourself then, because you got people that believe in you, and that keeps you focused on your everyday routine and eating, sleeping, and training. Like Hulk Hogan said, take your vitamins, say your prayers, and keep hitting the gym. And I'm trying to get back to gymnastics so I can do a couple moves. Still at 39, I turned 39 February 2nd. So I think for all the stuff I've done, anyone that's out there, watch my highlight videos. I think I've done the most moves in the world. I think I've invented the most moves, definitely in wrestling history. So, and it's just a matter of staying hungry and, as you said, staying focused on the task ahead of me, which is MLW right now. Gave me a huge opportunity, and trying to get in the best shape I can for that, so I can continue to keep my family's name alive. And the Teddy Hart rule basically is practice what you preach. And I have a whole bunch of kids out there that are following me and tell them the same thing I would tell anybody else. Just watch as much tape as you can. Try to hit the gymnastics, hit the gym, and try to get a good group of wrestling guys around you, and find a school, and make sure to take advantage of that ring time, as much ring time as you can get. It's going to help you become a great professional wrestler.
Okay, well, you've truly enriched us today with this interview, man. You've, it's really, really positive to see the role model that you've become, and the good example that you're becoming as the new patriarch of the Hart Foundation and the Hart family. So now, again, thank you again for speaking to me. And, just to make sure everybody is following you, give us some of your social media so people can continue to support you and your family.
Real Teddy Hart is my Instagram, and Twitter. Teddy Hart is back on Twitter. Love to have people follow me and check out my stuff.
All right, great.
And again, check out YouTube, please. Watch my videos, and keep praying for my safety and for the success of wrestling. And hope WWE continues doing great things with their network and all their pay-per-views. And wish Vince McMahon and the McMahon family all the success in the world. Without them, we probably wouldn't have wrestling in any kind of fashion on a mainstream TV. I don't think it would have lasted. They've been so organized and worked so hard for so many years to keep wrestling as a successful business. And the money they've spent, billions of dollars, have gone into wrestling production and WrestleManias and everybody sort of eats off their plate. So including AEW, I think the same thing, that the WWE allows other companies to exist, and I don't think they're trying to kill companies anymore. I think they're trying to keep them alive, and hopefully everybody works together in some capacity and makes wrestling TV, watching wrestling, better for the viewers, which is the most important thing, entertainment and love for this business and the continuation of this business for the next 50 to 100 years, you know.
Hear, hear, well said. Well, thank you again very much, Teddy Hart. It's been a pleasure. Of course, make sure you're following us on the Main Event Zone, at Main Event Zone, of course, on Twitter as well as on Instagram as well. And, of course, make sure you search for the Main Event Zone Pro Wrestling Group on Facebook. Everybody, please zone out.